Hello everyone, my name is Kimberly. This is I Got a New Deck. Welcome to my channel. This channel showcases oracle decks, tarot decks, specialty divination systems from my own personal collection. I have not been paid a dime for any of these reviews, so they're always fair and honest. If I do get paid in the future, I'll be honest about that. I'm still gonna be fair and honest about the review. This system is called the Kipper system. It is a German-based divination, and what it is numbers, it is images, and then it has a descriptor. How this is different is that depending on the direction of the images dictates the tense of the storyline, and 2, the action. So I want to show you the actual cards. So they are small, just slightly bigger than a standard playing deck. The stock paper is thin, and this is the Kipper. This is one of the most known styles of Kipper, and this is from Musruck's style. And the Kipper, I think, has been around since late 1800s. The best way to learn the Kipper, because this isn't a deck that it wouldn't be one of your first decks. I wouldn't recommend it because it's very extensive. There is research. I would say this deck is for a more seasoned person. This being said, if someone gifts it to you, it's a challenge, and I'm sure you could take on it, right? Sometimes it's better not to have any background and you just dive in. Depends what kind of a student you are, whether this might be overwhelming for you because it's a lot of knowledge, or you're like, yeah, let's do this. So this is what you get. I think the price point is like $17 to $19 depending what country. Okay, smallish. Important to note, there is no guidebook with this deck. From the same creator though, for purchase for $24.99 US, there is this book. It is thick. What it does is it details the card. So you look up the card by the number first, okay? How I learned how to do this is 3 rows of 3. So 3 across, 3 down, and then there's a middle row. The reason why I feel like this is the best way to learn is that then you can experience all the tenses of the storyline. So, for example, this is the Great Lord. So I purchased this guidebook. I am looking up number 5, which is the Good Lord, okay? Now you are going to see why this is such a thick guidebook, okay? So you'd go to the guidebook. Now, depending on the location of the Good Lord is how you would do this reading. It just so happened I placed the card, it's in the middle, which is an excellent way for me to describe the system. So, the Good Lord is paternal, helpful, supportive, loving, mature, an older male, father, grandfather, father-in-law, has influence. So the mantra attached to this card is I am protected and loved. It's a positive influence. A quick answer, if you just asked a question and that card pulled out, it would be a yes answer. And basically it's paternal and fatherhood, okay? So male energy is what we're thinking of. So we turn the page. It now is in subsections. If when the following card appears on the left of the Lord. So for me, who's on the left is actually the main male, okay? So on this page, I would then look up the number 1, which is main male, to get further information to the storyline. So as I see that, the main male, the male will interact with an older man, a supportive friend or father, okay? So that is to the left. If it appears, and to the left is the future, okay? So any cards to the left of the selected first card, which it was the Good Lord, that is the future. So in the future, this person's gonna have an experience with an elderly man, an older, mature man, okay? Related or not. To the right is the past. So to the right of the Good Lord card is the occupation card. So I then would go under the past section for the number 5 card, which is the Good Lord. And I would look up number 34 for occupation. And it says, hardworking, motivated. The older man was ambitious. A job was offered. Okay? So I told you the Good Lord is in the middle of this 3x3 spread. So that means 3 rows, 3 cards across, down, and there's 3 rows, okay? So if we're looking at the top, the card that's sitting on top of the Good Lord, for the spread that I laid down, it is number 9, a change. So a change means mentally on the mind. It has an effect, but maybe what's on the mind. So if I go number 9, it means the older man is thinking of a move or a relocation, okay? If I look to the bottom, it means has achieved. So the past tense again, but it's an action. So underneath the Good Lord on mine is 27, unexpected money. So the older man is someone who deals well with his contract and his income is constantly increasing. So a wealthy man. Okay? Now, that's just one storyline. This is how involved this reading could be, because you can go through every one. There's 3 rows. So if I went Murky Thoughts, which was the bottom row of the first card, that would mean there's a row above. So I would read the 2 numbers above. So this was the bottom row of the first card, 33. 1, the male is on top. Grief and sorrow is on top of the male, the main male. So if we went to 33, this is not, I was gonna say something here. This is not, if you were following the traditional way to read this system, you will need this guidebook. You will need the guidebook. If you're doing it traditionally, where you're doing all the past, all the storyline, the future, what's on the mind, etc., you will need this. It'll be very difficult for you to remember all the combinations. Now, many people, once they get the gist of the flow, like myself, will intuitively just say the story. We're not so by the book that we're like, okay, and above the mind, this is happening to the right. You do it after a while and you won't need the book as much. But I always use this book at some point in my reading, usually to confirm what my intuitive messages when I first lay down the cards means. So basically it's a system where it gives you as detailed or as superficial storyline that you want to give. You could do 3 cards, call it like past, present, future, and you just work a story from the 3 cards. The 3x3 is a good way to start. Now, the more seasons, like expert Kipper readers, do something called the Grand Tableau. It is using all of these cards, and you basically do a full like cross and below till the whole deck is used. Now, I've done it, and how I did it, I'm going to be honest with you because it was so detailed. I pre-laid down the cards, and I had done like a video after to extend to a client because it was a long distance client that I have. And I did the work ahead of time. So I wrote the whole notes, so past and present, so I could get it flowing organically and easy enough so that my client can understand all the characters. Did this happen? Is it happening? Is it in their mind to think about happening? To get all the tenses right so it flows. I've also done just intuitive where I have just said flyers and told a story as it occurred. So, just to give you a hint. So the top row is grief and sorrow, change, hope, big and water. Okay? Intuitively, I can just say, okay, 599. We've got somebody upset that a change has occurred, an ending has occurred, is hopeful for the future. Okay, the second row was main male, good Lord, occupation, hardworking, mature man that's successful, works hard. Okay, and that is 157. Then I have murky thoughts, unexpected money, the court. So, shady person who received unexpected money, and that was 12:12 on the clock, and probably needs to go to court because they earned it unethically. Again, you can go then further what happened in the past. Well, the shady person caused a wealthy man grief and sorrow. Why? Because they robbed them. Okay, and so this tells all the stories by all the sides of the characters listed. Like I said, I love using the Kipper system. It is a lot to take in at the beginning. Again, you don't have to do anything, but I would, no matter what level you are, I would just, when you purchase this Kipper deck, purchase this guidebook. This is well worth the $25. It gives a lot of information to give you a very layered, I did a 2-hour reading just on a Kipper. Now, the price point, I was very happy. The fee I attached to such an extensive reading. But I ended up, like, I now have a permanent client or a repeat client that seeks my services and loves the Kipper reading. So it was worth the time to get to and practice, because I did practice quite a bit before I offered this as a service, just so you know. So again, this is what the cards look like. Decent quality, thin stock paper. There's not a lot of ways to shuffle this. It's a small deck. It looks small in my hand, and I have small hands. It is an easy deck if you want to intuitively read a story and keep it try and keep it in the present tense. For sure, you could use it that way. And if you want to be very ambitious, the Grand Tableau is a great goal to achieve, because there's no running or hiding from the message. It's very specific. It talks about tenses, so very clear messages, very detailed. As for the images, I mean, they're delicate. They're not overly fancy. They're of an older theme, right? Like I said, late 1800s. It's the vibe. And I like that they kept this vibe. So Alexandre Musruck, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. So it's an interesting system. Need some research. I highly recommend it. Again, I don't know if there's a gift set, because truly I added this together because I do feel like you need the guidebook, and that's a separate purchase. So for the guidebook, for the cards, you're looking at $55 something before taxes. If you're a beginner, I probably wouldn't recommend this deck till you get a little stronger footing, unless you really like a challenge. If you're more seasoned, I definitely would recommend learning about this system just to make you more well-rounded and to add an additional service to your existing and possibly new client base. So I do recommend the deck. The quality is there, the price point. I think it's fair for all the information with the guidebook. And so I think I'm going to leave it there. I am going to try and do a Kipper reading on my other channel, which is Graceful Guidance, Divination, and Esoteric Counsel. So it's going to take me a little time for this because of the way I want to do it. I don't think I'm going to do a grand tableau. It'd take way too long, but I'll do an extensive reading just so that you can see how informative the reading can be. My name is Kimberly. This is I Got a New Deck. I hope you enjoyed this review. Till we're able to engage again, stay safe, be well, take care of you.